Good morning, welcome to Friday Takeaway. Of course, I'm Khoo Chuang, joined by Nadia, Hassan, and it is Friday the 30th of September, the last day of the quarter, 3 months left to the end of the year. It's amazing.
No, it's not amazing, it's scary. It's been a bad year for, all concerned, disasters, Trump, whatever. And I just hope that the end of the year just finishes on a higher note, man. Otherwise, we'll just hang ourselves.
But I love your new hairdo, so congratulations.
Thank you very much about that. No.
Okay.
It's as gold as people's prospects.
Well, you did. And anyway, you mentioned oil markets, and yesterday OPEC did an unprecedented move of moving oil production targets for the first time in 2.5 years. The Iranian oil minister, Bijan Zanganeh, said quite rightly that this was quite an exceptional decision on their part.
But do you think that they're finally stopped cutting their nose to spite their face? Because for the longest time, OPEC has said they wouldn't, even when prices all fell off a cliff. Now finally they realize, look, there's something we need to do. Is it just basically the staring contest to see who blinks first?
Quite possibly, but they've got no choice because economies, we've seen the Saudis, of course, having to cut jobs in the government sector, unheard of. Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs saying that oil prices could rise by as much as $10. We'll have to wait and see. But the lack of detail is quite telling because we don't know by which proportion, by how much each oil-producing country will have to cut by. So we'll have to wait and see.
Brent crude was like 49 barrel, WTI is about 47.7. We've been seeing those levels for quite a while. Let's see how it goes to the last 3 months of the year, because usually towards the end of the year it does tend to trend up.
Let's move along, Nads, to the US presidential debate. Your favorite person, Mr. Small Hands, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
He likes gold Sharpies too, apparently.
He does. 100 million people watched the debates.
Yeah, close to 80 million. Actually, the one thing they did note was that Monday Night Football apparently suffered because of this. But I saw the debate, and most people seem to agree that Hillary won, but apparently Trump got very upset with people who said that he lost within his own party. But oh come on, that wasn't a debate, that was a sideshow.
That was a sideshow, that was a reality TV show. But you're right, because if the pundits were right and Trump lost, the Mexican peso, do you know, on that day, it rose by 2%. It's quite astounding.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, but we still didn't get any sort of like prospects on what would happen if either of them become president. One, it's either national disaster or bigger national disaster. Which one do you want?
Well, both of them are equally tragic, and relevantly for us in Asia, there was no discussion of the TPPA, no discussion of the Asian pivot. We don't know what foreign policy will be like, and for the Americans, in the last 8 years since Barack Obama has come to power, he's doubled the national debt to $19.5 trillion. What's the thinking that either Clinton or Trump will help reverse that decline? I don't think any of them will.
Actually, at the moment, I don't have any clear view of any of their policies aside from the populist ones. Building wall or just better healthcare. But the big things, I don't think we'll know until one of them takes office.
Correct. Let's move along though to the Malaysian scenario, and we saw our favorite car company, they launched the Proton SAGA, but more interestingly, they talked about how they shortlisted 5 candidates to take a stake in them.
It was a sources story that actually made its way online all the time, saying that they already identified the foreign partners, which they need to, which was one of the conditions of that soft loan.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying not to think of something that rhymed with schmel out. It's still up in the air, he says. They're not going to give away 80, they're not going to give away 70%. They are still going to be in the driving seat, so to speak. But look at the names that were allegedly shortlisted. Peugeot, Renault, Suzuki, Skoda,
Geely as well of China. But the market doesn't really know how much I don't think even DRB knows how much they're going to sell. And we saw, for example, Dato Sri Syed Faisal Ali Alba. He talked about how they won't sell 70 to 80%, but they might sell 51%. I think The Edge ran a story saying as much yesterday. But I don't think even they or their bankers know until the final submissions are in.
Well, the new Saga is actually, I looked at the price for it, 36,800 to about 39,800. It was their best-selling. It is their best-selling sort of model so far, and it's been a year where the car market has been absolutely awful. But the Beza helped, this one helped. Whether it's going to be the same as last year, I don't think the MAA is betting the house yet.
Well, the Protons, I think they sold 102,000 cars last year. This year they've sold they've launched 3 new models, the Persona, the Pradana, and the new Saga. And they're going to do a new MPV, I think, with Suzuki, the new JV partner. So I think they're aiming for 150,000 units this year. We'll have to wait and see. But on the TIV front, still down, I think, 15% of the year to date. Okay, a couple of stocks were moving this week, Nads. I found this company called Tek Seng. Now, No, they're not a friend, they're not the name of a Chinese person you know from around the corner. This is a company which got into PV solar cells some months ago, and they've seen the share price surge to $1.30 odd levels.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the last 1 week, there's been a notice of a retrenchment exercise at their plant, at one of their factories, which is seeing about 200 to 300 contract workers disappear off the payroll, and I think that's hit the share price.
Exactly. You see that it's most of the people that apparently have lost their jobs is for the production lines of the guys who are doing solar panels, which is really funny, right? Because that was what drove your share price up. This whole going into the renewable energy thing and all this, and now you're laying off people.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, earnings looked great for them.
This tells you that perhaps there could be a trading opportunity because of this whole margin reversion theory. Because when you look at it from an earnings standpoint, is at the second quarter level, revenue is more than doubled to 116 million ringgit. Profit after tax is also, in fact, gone up by fourfold to 16.2 million ringgit. So, if you're looking to buy on a dip, this might just be it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Because if you wanted to catch the earlier renewable energy wave, you couldn't already. Now this is the second time.
Correct.
Maybe for it the second time around. But that's if you believe in their prospects.
That is if you believe in the prospects, and the bottom fell out of the solar cell market in China. So who knows? Maybe this time around it's going to be different, or maybe it's not going to be, right?
Or is it history repeating itself? Oh,
correct.
Dear. Oh dear God.
The second stock I found was SYF Resources. Now, quite a quiet one. It's kind of like a furniture property player. I think UOB Kay Hian began coverage on the stock with a buy call. This analyst called Lester Chin, and his target price is 76 cents. Now, get this right. Today, SYF is about 55 cents, give or take. Yeah. It's up 10% on the week. And the whole catalyst behind the stock is that perhaps the property sector could come in and help bolster earnings.
Yeah, because then I missed it this week, but didn't one of the property players have like a huge jump in earnings, 300 and something %?
Equal world, 5 times on the year.
Exactly.
Amazing.
So, yeah, amazing. So maybe that's going to be the kind of savior. I know SYF, they're very, very, like you say, kind of low-key.
Woody?
No, they're not. Well, it's hard to say how. So they talk about the trading upside UOB in general, they said the valuation is very undemanding at 5.4 times 2017 PE.
Yeah, that's right. And the third catalyst for the stock could be the possibility of an M&A, because the major owner there,
Miko,
I love his name, Ah Chai, by the way. You know what I mean?
Yes,
very
exactly.
guy next door.
Very, 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 very.
Well, he bought control in Miko Chipboard, which used to belong in BRDB. Okay. And now people are saying if they merge the two, it could be, do wonders for earnings.
Yeah, so the largest board manufacturing entity in Malaysia. Is it a time to take it? I mean, because the share price has gained, who knows? Maybe, who knows?
Okay, Malaysia loves the public holidays. Last week we had 2 public holidays, this week none. Next week another one. Our Muharram was on Sunday. They've carried it forward to Monday, so only 4 trading days next week. Just as well, I guess, because not many people expect it to be a volatile and active week, but on a
October
data standpoint,
historically is kind of quiet, isn't it? Right up until everybody window dresses.
We've had several of the last recessions in October.
Oh yes,
right?
markets
like Monday
hate October.
87. That's right. Yeah.
So you be wary of markets in October.
Be wary of October
because just before the window dressing kind of steps in.
Friday, trade balance, I think, and that's imports as well, foreign reserves. So that's data to watch out for. Anyway, well, that's a wrap from us. Of course, I was joined by Nadia Hassan, the new blonde in town. I'm Khoo Chuang. If you want to catch more, go to theedgemarkets.com or go to the Edge Financial Daily on the newsstands or the Edge Financial Weekly. Thank you for watching. Good day and good night.